This is a sicha, a beautiful sicha, an old sicha, about the story of Rabba Reb Zeira. It's printed in Chilik Lamed Aleph. Lamed Aleph. I posted on the group copy. Okay, so yesterday we had in the Gemara we were learning about a story about Reb Kana, Reb Yechanan, that Reb Kana came from Bavel. I went to Eretz Yisrael to go learn by Reb Yechanan, and he was told that he should not ask any questions or challenge Reb Yechanan. And eventually he started challenging Reb Yechanan, and then Reb Yechanan got offended at him, and Reb Yechanan looked the wrong way, and he died. And then Reb Yechanan was Machaya Mason, and because Reb Yechanan thought that he was laughing at him, but really it's just the way that the smirk on his face, the way that Hashem made him, it looked like he was laughing, but really that's just the way his face posture was. Page 177, yeah. So anyway, we mentioned this Sikha. I figured that we mentioned this Gemara, so I figured we'll learn the Sikha later. Yeah, from yesterday. Okay. Isa Gemara we learned in the Gemara. This is Megillah Daf Zayin Amud Beis. Amar Rava Chayiv Inish L'Besumei L'Shtaker B'Yayim B'Kuraya At L'Yada Ben Urham L'Baruch Mordechai. Rava says a person is obligated to intoxicate himself, like Rashi says, to drink wine on Purim until he does not know the difference between cursed Haman and benched Mordechai. This is what the Gemara says. It's brought down on the Rambam in Hilchos Megillah, Perek Beis Alachat Tesvav. And if you look in the Torah Shulchan Aruch, in Siman Tofrei Sadikei, Siv Beis also is brought down this halach. Halach l'maisim. And in continuation to this Gemara, the Gemara says, Rabba Reb Zeira Avdu Sudas Purim Bahadi Adadi. Rabba and Reb Zeira, they had the Purim meal together. Ibsum, Nishtakru, Rashi says, they got drunk. Both of them got intoxicated. What happened? Kom Rabba Shachta Reb Zeira. Rabba got up and he killed Reb Zeira. So means he shafted him. Let him garget. We're going to see what exactly shachta means. But simple pashtup shot. Shachta, he killed him. He slaughtered him. And then what happened? The Mocher Boy Rachame, the next day, he asked Rachmanis, and V'achi, he was Machayim Mason. That's the story in the Gemara. Gemara says, L'shana, the next year, Amar Lei, so Rabba tells Reb Zeira, Nesi Mar, when Rabba said, let's do this again, let's have a Purim meal. So Amar Lei, so what did Reb Zeira tell him? Loi b'chol shaita v'shaita v'slachach nisa. It's not, we're not so lucky that every time a miracle happens. So that's the simple story over here. So the Rebbe says, this story needs clarification on Asbara. The Eichen Shalaimar Shadaba Nishal Be'in Shel Afidu Shel Abizrayo the Abizrayo the Shufazam Nachlas. I posted on the group if you want. So the question is, based on this story, it comes out that the Rabba was nifshal in the, maybe a little bit, in the Avera of killing somebody. Now, you're going to say he was drunk, so, as we know, we're just learning in the Gemara Bava Kama, Adam would La'ilam. Now, and also, it doesn't make sense that Rabba, well, as we know, it's brought down in the Gemara and the Tanya, that Rabba, who was a Beinani, should be nifshal in this Avera of Shvichas Damim, even B'Shegig. So this is not the Rebbe Shaila. This is a Shaila for the Sheh. I'll go to some Marsha. So Shaila the Yavis, other Achrenim asked this question, that how could Rabba be nifshal in the Aveda of Shvichas Damim? Now, the Chidush HaGadah Marsha, and the Chidush HaGadah on the Marsha, of the Marsha on the Gemara Megillah, there wasn't this that we're seeing Shachte, that he slaughtered him, doesn't actually mean Kivshute. It's like it's an abridgment of killing. What does that mean? So the Marsha says the Agbari Chamra. He gave him a lot of wine. And Rabba forced him, coerced him, compelled him to drink more than he could handle. Until he got sick and he died.
He
almost died, but not the lamas. He almost died. Right. He did not that he killed him, but he leading to death. And the Yavitz says as well. Also, the Meiri says that actually shachtu mamish. It's not that he killed him. Ella b'achizas einayim is just with his eyes. What does that mean? The people that saw Reb Zeira thought that Rabba actually killed him. After Reb Zeira, so they all started panicking and they got nervous. And after Reb Zeira, nispol mehem, lov mishcharodav nis'alav b'nei daiga. So what happened? Reb Zeira got so nispol, he saw the commotion. That's what he always said, a time of any time of crisis, you have to stay calm. Because if you don't stay calm, the people around you, especially let's say the victim or the patient, he sees the doctor, he sees the people around him freaking out. That's it. He's gonna also freak out. So it's important to stay calm.
Yeah, I'm telling the Dogo in Rambo was the Shufat Veda. On top of that,
Rabba gave him a lot of.
With the
they gave him.
They so that everyone else was freaking out, even though even that. So he
panicked and he fainted. Rabba gave him a lot of wine, gave him a lot to drink, and then the people thought that it's geschaften because he was dead. So then he got panicked and he fainted. Okay, so that's the symbol. That's what the Marsha says. Marsha the Yavitz says not Chas v'Shalom, but Rabba killed Reb Zeira, but he gave him a lot of wine and Timatzi died, or that the people thought that Rabba killed him, but really nothing. He didn't kill him, and it's just that Reb Zeira from the panic he fainted. Now the Rebbe says, what's the problem with these answers? What's the lashon over there? The lashon of the Gemara is the next day he asked Rachmanis and ve'achi, which means he was mechayim mesim, and they're moving up Pisa. So it's not understood how to die in ezim misyashav on negosa Rabba. This does not answer how could Rabba conduct himself in this manner. The save hezik hadover libriyosi shel Reb Zeira. At the end of the day, he damaged the health of Reb Zeira, as the Marsha says, "V'achinat alamos." His mamish about to. He was bedridden. He was about to die. You're not allowed to damage your friend. You're not allowed to hurt your friend. So even if you want to say that he didn't kill him, mamish, whatever it is, that the fact is that he was mazik the health of Reb Zeira, which is an isser to damage a person. You can't damage your friend. So and this doesn't answer the question of how he could do that. But Shuas Chassam Sefer, now in the Chassam Sefer, he brings down the Kasha says Shashachti Rabba Reb Zeira in Divrei Gemara. So the Chassam Sefer says he connects this with the Gemara, the Maisa of Rabba and Reb Zeira, to what the Gemara says. The Gemara Shabbos says that it's a Shabbos Kufn Nevav and Aleph, that Hai Man de Maidim, person who's born. The Gemara is the end of the Shabbos there. Says that a person who's born in Mazel Maidim, in the hour of red, Yigvar Osher Dama, Shefich Dama, he's going to be somebody who murders people. That's why a lot of people have the minhag not to make Kiddush between 6 and 7. Why? Because that's Mazel Maidim hour. It's the hour of severity. So,
this Lebanon, with this, make a binding with you and everything that had, and it would be a kex.
Yeah.
He used to say it.
Exactly. A lot of people like that. Now, what does the Gemara say? So Rabba says, so Rabba no b'maidim. So the Gemara says that a person who's born in Mazel Maidim hour is somebody who is a sheif of them, and he spills blood, he kills people. So Rabba said, "Ano b'maidim, I am born in the Maidim hour." So that's kivyochel. Some say that's a teretz of why Rabba killed Reb Zeira, because I'm inclined, I'm born, right? I was born this way to be a gangster, so that's why I killed him. Right. Now, so the Rebbe says, what's wrong with the Chassam Sefer? If you look in the Yavitz on the Megillah over there, on the Gemara in the Megillah, on Gemara Megillah, Shekesiv, the Yavitz clearly writes, Avodam Vadil Shofach Rabba. Chas v'Shalom, the Rabba actually spilled blood. Afim Haya b'Maidim. even if he was born in Maidim. And chas v'shalom to say that the Rabba was shayes to Maidim. Now, and he explains in the Rambam, this is the Rambam Mishmei Prakim, in Pereches, and also in Hilchos Tshuva, Perekei, Halacha Daled, the Rambam says, Shezesh Adam Neilu B'Teva, Chilul Mazel Maidim Mesuyim Eni B'Stil B'Chilul Chavsher. So the Rambam clearly says, just because a person is born and inclined with a bad nature, or a nature that he kills, doesn't mean that he doesn't have B'Chilul Chavsher, he doesn't have free will not to act in this way. On the contrary, for sure a person is given the strength to overcome his bad nature. For sure, this was Rabba, for sure that he was able to overcome his bad tendencies. So now, So the Rebbe is, what's wrong with the Chassam Sefer? The Chassam Sefer is saying is that because he was born in Mazel Maidim, that's the way he acted this way. So the Rebbe says, first of all, the Yaivus tries clearly that he did not go ahead and spill blood. And the Rambam says that even if a person is born in a certain nature, for example, Mazel Maidim, it's not restricted to his free will. And on the contrary, the Eibishter gives a person the power to overcome a tendency that he's born with. Okay, now the Rebbe says two questions. There's even more wondrous. If you look at the continuation of the story, it says, L'shana Omar, the next year, Rabba tells Reb Zeira, let's make the Purim meal again. What comes out from the story? Not only don't we find that Rabba is apologetic, Rabba says sorry, he does any tshuva to what happened, Elaiz is more so. Let's put him. What does he say? He doesn't apologize, he doesn't say, he says, come, let's do it again. Even though Rabba took into account what could happen, the same thing that happened last year can happen again. So that's one thing. We find that and he doesn't even apologize. He invites him again. Says, wait, more so. The reason why Reb Zeira did not take his invitation is because, what did he say? Not every second, not every time are we zeichet this. Hi, no, what does that mean? He, in essence, was ready to celebrate the Sudas Purim with Rabba again. Even though it's possible for Rabba to do the same thing. And we know, brought down in Hora 10, a person is not allowed to put himself, the Gemara Shabbos says, the person is not allowed to say, good morning, the person is not allowed to put himself in Malkum Sakana. So he didn't have a problem to put himself in Malkum Sakana. Or what do you say? Just lay b'chol shaytim b'shaytim s'ragos nisa. Hainu, ba'atam, sh'layiskom ha'yoragim neishlo, b'tuach, sh'gam apam, b'kor hanes, sh'rabba, yichya isa achri purim. So why didn't he accept it? Because he was not certain that Rabba would be able to perform the same miracle of being Messiah Mason. So we have to understand what's going on in the story that Rabba killed Reb Zeira. How could Rabba be Eiver Shrichas Damim? Why don't we find that Rabba B'chal apologizes? And the reason why Reb Zeira doesn't want to accept the invitation is not because he's personally upset or personally he's hurt what happened. He just says, which means Be'inyan, he was ready to do it again. Base. We find different explanations. You find different explanations, not based on Pshat, but more esoteric parts of Teda. And there's different Mamorim on this. If you look in Toshin Ches and Likkutei Sichos, there's different esoteric Pshats of what's going on here. Now, some say this that Rabba killed Reb Zeira, it's alluding to spiritual things. So you can say that this is only a mashal, it's only a parable. The Gemara Bava Basra the Fain Gimel brings a bunch of stories, like stories about there was a bird, and the bird took an egg and then destroyed 60 cities, etc., etc. So these stories are there's a bunch of stories of Rabba Barachana, the Gemara Bava Basra. That's only like it's alluding to spiritual things. Huh?
Yeah, in Gemara Shabbos here, all these gizmos, at town, the towns.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So what does those Mefarshim say? It's only a remes. It's inyan and ruchim. That didn't happen k'pshutei. Now the Rebbe says, what's the problem with that answer? Don't explain that the story of Rabba and Reb Zeira is spiritual, something spiritually happened, or it's being meramez on a spiritual thing. Why? The Gemara brings this story down. Why does the Gemara bring this story? To tell us that Azeh is the psak halacha. To further explain, as we see in Ma'aser Rav, that this is the halacha. A person has to get intoxicated and put him until he doesn't know. So we see Rabba and Reb Zeira both were Mekayim ad layada in a actual manner. If we're talking about and that's just brought down, as we brought down the Shulchan Aruch, means the Torah, Rambam, everybody says, therefore you have to say that this story happened in actuality, and not only in spiritual things. However, when it comes to Rabba Barachana, that story in the Gemara Bava Basra, which is speaking about stories, okay, that you could say it's a sinyonim ruchnim. But here, the Gemara says that din mechai v'nish l'psula b'huraya, and then the Gemara brings a story of Ma'aser Rav that happened. Also, a lot of times when we're doing Gemara, the Gemara says something, and then the Gemara brings a bunch of stories. Why does the Gemara bring a bunch of stories? To tell you that Azeh is the din. You see that this is how it was, l'bapel. Now, also by the Ran, the Balamir, which the Beis Yosef brings the shittis, the Beis Yosef brings these shittis. Sheviu ha'ah the plus of Harab Reb Ephraim Zal, who uvda the Kom Rabba Shachta Reb Zeira. He brings down from Reb Ephraim from this story is that itchili memra de Rava, and he says that we push off the halacha of Rava, but let's say, and Allah is not like him. It's not fit. One should not conduct himself in this manner. So what comes out, even the way that the Ephraim learns, the Balameir and the Ran, they learn that Allah is not like that, and one should not conduct himself. But how do they learn the story? That the story happened in Shutei. Otherwise, if the story didn't happen in a Payal Mamish, why would they say that a person shouldn't conduct himself in this way? If it was only in Inyan Ruchni. Gimel. Therefore, seems to say that this story was Bapashtas. That because both of them got intoxicated, this caused Rabba to kill Reb Zeira. Nevertheless, even though the Rabba was shachted Reb Zeira, nevertheless, there's no whatsoever, not even a srach of shvichas damim at all. So much so that Rabba and Reb Zeira was ready to do this again. Now, so what's going on over here? You're telling me that Rabba killed Reb Zeira. It happened in Pshutei, but there's no srach or shvichas damim. So the Rebbe says this. So we'll understand this by first prefacing this, the whole death of Nadav and Avihu. And as especially when there's a Ibriyar, so that brings in order 15, a lot of times Purim will fall on Pasha Shmini. Shmini is what? The stir of Nadav and Avihu. So obviously there's mamash connection between the two. Not only is just bringing it's mamash connection, because Shmini falls on Purim and Ibriyar. Well, first, let's preface the whole story of Nadav and Avihu. Now, Chazal tell us that why did Nadav and Avihu die? Because they came into the Beis Hamikdash intoxicated. They came in drunk. Why did they die? Because they drank too much wine when going into the Beis Hamikdash. It's known before this, because of Shemesha Omer Aaron. It's in the Teda and Pasha Shmini. It says Aaron tells Aaron, Hu Asher Diba Hashem Leimar Bekroivei HaKodesh. It's in Pasha Shmini, Perek Yud Pasuk Gimel. The pasuk says that this is Moshe tells Aaron, this is when Hashem spoke. When he says Bekroivei HaKodesh, I will get close. I will sanctify with my closeness. Now, Rashi explains over there, I see that another one of you are greater than me and you. She asked them, so, if you're saying, and Rashi is saying, and it wasn't that Moshe was just trying to just appease his brother or whatever. He's saying that I see now that another one of you are greater than me and you. So how is it possible that because through another one of you they had something that the Teda says, or Chazal says, there's something which is built in Yotzi. Mavor Bazet. And the Orach Chaim and the Orach Chaim HaKodesh, this is the Orach Chaim, yeah. Sorry. Now explains it's explained based on the Orach Chaim. Another one of you died because of the great desire that he wanted to become close to Hashem. And he explains, they did not hold themselves back from getting close to Hashem with a great love and kisses and closeness. But like the Teda says, now what's the reason why they died? So the Orach Chaim explains, because they came too close to Hashem. All right, we'll continue this tomorrow.